This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 1.2.5 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus to explain that classification systems aim to reflect evolutionary relationships. So what is the purpose of a classification system? Well, first of all, it can be used to show evolutionary relationships and predict characteristics shared by species within a particular group. So each branch in this type of organization will start with a species that evolved from a common ancestor. So all the organisms listed here, from shark to birds, all started with a common ancestor that had a vertebrae. But then as you move up that right-hand line, the sharks will branch off to their own line, whereas all the other organisms, from the ray-finned fish to the birds, all have a common ancestor that had a bony skeleton. Sharks don't have bony skeletons, they have cartilage. As you continue to move up that right side of the diagram, the ray-finned fish will branch off, and then all the organisms from amphibians to birds share a common ancestor that had 4 limbs. And as you continue on, now the amphibians will branch off, and the primates to the birds will all share a common ancestor that all formed from an amniotic egg. And that will continue on until you get all the way down to the species level. So in this type of diagram, you can see how organisms are related to each other and can help you to predict characteristics for species that are within a particular group. So classification systems allow scientists to sort organisms based on studies of how they're related to each other. So if we look at this type of diagram, we can see that organisms A, B, and C, that is the African wild dog, the gray wolf, and the dog that we have like in our home, all have a common ancestor, which is labeled X in blue. However, B and C, that is the gray wolf and the dog, are more closely related to each other because they share a more recent common ancestor. This is labeled Y in blue. So while all of these organisms, the African wild dog, all of the foxes, the red wolf, coyote, gray wolf, and the domesticated dog, all share common ancestors with each other, some of them are more closely related to each other because they share a more recent common ancestor, as illustrated with the gray wolf and the dog.